Hi everyone, Sylvia again. I'm into part 3. I'm just going to do a little bit of more of a strengthening exercise for your neck that you can do at home. So you can do this with a rolled up towel or blanket or a really high pillow, or you can actually do it lying down on your bed and do something very similar, and you'll get a little bit more range. This is just basically neck stuff. Remember, I said when you're trying to strengthen, you also need to think about strengthening your shoulders, your chest, and your upper back, because your muscles that are all interrelated. Even though we have a sore neck, some of these things are interrelated. So please look at strengthening some of those areas as well as not just focusing on your neck. So today I'm just going to show you on a roller. So I've got a roller in the studio to work on. As I said, easy to do it with a rolled up pillow, blanket, towel, as long as it's sort of up high, or you can do it with your head hanging off your bed with having a little bit more range, so then it might help you get a little bit stronger. So I'd start on the floor and then head to the bed to do the same thing but hanging your head off. Okay, so basically this is working in the same direction as before, sort of with that mobility thing. So we are going to start at doing this in all the different directions. So you're going to start with your sort of your holding onto your roller or your pillow or whatever you're doing. Okay, so I've got my shoulders on. Okay, we're going to just start by just bringing your head down as far as you can, and then just bringing your head into that nod. So you're just doing the same thing as before. You've got more range, but we're not holding on. Your head is doing all of this. So you've got that head weight. Our head is quite heavy. And you're just doing your crunch with your head only and going backwards and forwards. Okay. And then you can turn onto your side. Okay. So you can do the same sort of thing. Okay, so you have your arm out or wherever it is comfortable, and you're going to do the same thing. So your head is coming to one shoulder, and then your head is coming up to the next shoulder. You're trying to look forward while you're doing it, and it's just using more of our head weight to hang over. So if you're doing like this on the bed, your shoulder is going to be on the bed, and your head and neck is going to hang off, and you're just going to do this lifting up your head. So you're sort of lying flat on your bed and just dip your head down and come back up. So then you do it on the other side. Then you would come on to your chest, okay, and do the same thing. So if your bed is there, we're just going to bring our head and then lifting it back off. And it's just our head that we're moving. So we're doing that nodding and lifting up. So it's really just our body weight again. You can start adding your band if you wanted to. So you could have your band there for extra weight. And then you've got to lift your band up. Okay, that's not working very well for my head, for my hair. But it's the same concept of adding a little bit more weight, okay, without getting too extreme at this stage. Okay, but you can do all sorts of things with weights. You can get neck strengthening exercise things where you have a band that goes around and you can hang a dumbbell off, and you're doing the same sort of things. Okay, so I can have my band across my forehead, okay, and I'm pulling it back and holding it there, and I've just got to work through that strength a little bit more. To do my nod to my chest, I've got that band on tension. And you can play with the tension, you can get heavier bands, and it makes it harder to push through that band. But that would be further on, okay? With all strengthening exercises, where it doesn't matter which muscle you train, to get stronger, you load progressively. So you work on the sitting moving, okay? Then you might add that band or your hand to add that weight going the same direction, and then you do those push pulls, and then you start adding your body, your head weight to add some extra strength, and then you add a band or something like that. then I would get advice, okay, because everyone is different, and adding weights with those head things from, you can get them on all sorts of things. I would seek advice before you start using those and make sure that everything is okay, and that you're using the right technique. But basically, your neck is just like any other muscle. You can strengthen it with weights, just like we would do a bicep curl. You might start with so many kilos, and then you can do that reps, 10 reps of those. Okay, I'm going to add to the next weight. So 6 kilos, 7 kilos, I can do 10, I go to 8 kilos, I can do 10, I can go to 9 kilos. All right. I can only struggle and get to 5, so that's probably enough. I'm going to keep on going and doing 3 sets of these, and then I still can't do more than a few. I'm getting tired, okay, then I'm going to keep on going. I'll keep on the next day, whenever I do it, every few days. Don't do it day after day. Have a few rest days in between, or one rest day in between. And then I still come back 2 days later. I can still only get to 6. That's not enough to add weight. You need to be consistent. You need to get to that 10 with maybe 2 more that you could do if push came to shove, in good form. So not shaking to that last one. It's like number 10. Oh, I'm getting there. You don't add weight. So it's the same with your neck. Don't progress to adding any sort of weight or going to something else until you are ready. Okay? And hopefully, as I said, if you can start strengthening your neck, you might not have as much neck pain later on. It might help you to lift more weights in the gym. It might help you to, not have those times where you're got a sore neck. It might help you in a Pilates class where you're trying to have your chest up for the entire class, or numerous exercises in your class, and you can actually get to having that head up, and you're not worried about getting really sore necks. So I hope that helps. Please don't push yourself too much if you're going to be doing this. It may just be a case of it's nice to know that there's a couple of things that you can do to add to that mobility, that sometimes just that mobility helps relieve the stress and give you a little bit of time where having that range is sometimes a nice thing. And doing it regularly, I find for me, if I do it, I have a period of sore necks. If I think about it and I do some of these things as a regular thing at night, maybe, head on to bed and about to go to bed, and I just might roll my head and do that drawing of my nose on the ceiling. If I did that every night before I went to bed, I find that I have better range in my neck. I have less neck pain during the day. And I'm just doing that regularly. So I'm not necessarily strengthening in the way that I've just talked about, but sometimes just keeping that mobility and that range helps me. Okay, it may help you. Okay, so as I said before, I'm not a medical professional. These are things that I have found have helped me with my neck pain. It's helped some of my clients when they come in and have told me that they have some neck pain just from waking up. I've woken up, my neck's sore. That sort of neck pain, not I've had a car accident, I had got whiplash. I don't deal with that, okay? So please use this as a talking point with your specialist, or something that might help you get a little bit of range and mobility. And if you want to add some of that really small amount of weight, pushing your hands using a band, or just doing that head weight movement, so you're doing that nod off the edge of your bed just to add a little bit of strength, then of course that would be a great thing, because it's really good to be strengthening our body in any way that we can. So let me know how do you go, and see you soon in YouTube world. Bye.